Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in California. I hope you're all doing well. This is Henry with ASTEM Tutoring, once again attempting to serve as the wise old sensei. Today, I would like to discuss an important topic in biology, the basic structure of an amino acid, and how amino acids bond together to form polypeptides and subsequently proteins. So let's go over to our handy dandy whiteboard here. The basic structure of an amino acid can be described as a central carbon surrounded by HACR, hacker. Remember that key phrase, hacker. And what does hacker stand for? H is a hydrogen, A is an amino group, that's called an amino acid. C is a carboxyl group. Remember from your knowledge of functional groups, a carboxyl group makes the molecule an acid. That's why it's an amino acid. R is the variable group. This is different from one amino acid to the next. It's what makes one amino acid different from another one. But the hydrogen and the amino group and the carboxyl group are in all amino acids. So if we want to draw the structure of an amino acid, let's start with the central carbon atom. We can put a hydrogen up here, the amino group out here, the carboxyl group over here, and then the R group over here. So all amino acids have the HAC, but the R is different from one amino acid to the next, the variable group. That's why it's called variable, because it changes from one amino acid to another one. So this is a monomer. It's the individual building block, the unit, and many monomers together form a polymer. In this case, many amino acids bonded together would form a polypeptide. And how does that bonding work? Well, let's draw another amino acid over here. So the OH over here and the H over here are liberated as a water molecule. And then the bond forms between this carbon and this nitrogen. Actually, let me change that. I'll draw this in a different color to highlight that. So the bond is formed between carbon and the nitrogen over here. That is the center of the amino group. So because you're losing a water molecule, the process of forming this bond is called dehydration synthesis. And in this case, with two amino acids together, it forms a peptide bond. So if you have many amino acids bonded together with peptide bonds, that molecule is called a polypeptide. One or more polypeptides form a protein. An important example of a protein is hemoglobin. It is a protein responsible for transporting oxygen in our bloodstream. For example, if you cut yourself, the blood that comes out, obviously it's not bubbling with bubbles of oxygen gas, right? The oxygen is carried inside our bloodstream, bonded to molecules of hemoglobin, and that's how oxygen is transported in our blood to our various muscles and organs. So this has been a simple discussion of the basic structure of an amino acid molecule and how amino acids bond together to form a polypeptide and subsequently a protein. If you'd like to learn more, I am available for hire as a private tutor. You can see my contact information in red up at the top center of the screen. The first 1 hour lesson is free for all new students. Try before you buy. And as a thank you for watching all the way to the end of today's video, if you mention the code FREEBOOK when you contact me at our first lesson, I will give you a free copy of my book, Smart Suggestions for Student Success. I wrote this book in an effort to help students, and especially high school students and college students, to succeed in school, in work, and in life. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.